Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Asia. I do fashion, beauty, post-cancer wellness, and if you are interested in any of those topics, I would love for you to subscribe, join our community. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much. I'm so glad you are enjoying the content. So I wanted to do an updated video on the subject of sickness can destroy your marriage/relationships. I did a live recently that went really well, and so much has happened since that first initial video. I know I told you guys how much that situation has affected me, how much my entire situation has affected me, and in turn has also affected my family and everyone around me. I mentioned to you all in my last video, or the video before that, how important I thought therapy was. And I still do. And I am now currently in therapy. It's something that I really thought about and decided that I needed to do. And so far, it's just been one of the best decisions. I've had sessions so far with BetterHelp, and they have so graciously sponsored this video. This is not my first time in therapy, but my experience has not always been the best. Like, I've told you guys how horrible my initial experience was with therapy. I had to go through so much just to get to the right therapist. And one of the best features of BetterHelp is if you don't click, or if you don't feel the therapist you have is the right one, you can easily switch to someone else until you find someone that clicks with you. I just so happened to find the right one on the first try that I connected with, and they were easy to talk to. They gave me homework, which I loved, and I felt a part of the process. I was asked a series of questions like beforehand, and I liked that because I was able to really narrow down what exactly I wanted from my therapist. Like, BetterHelp is really on a mission to make online therapy and therapy in general easier. They carefully make sure that all their therapists on the platform are well qualified and that their customer service team is available for you if you have any questions. Like, they even have group sessions. It felt so good to speak with someone that you knew wouldn't judge you, but also held you accountable and even took notes on things that I can improve on and work on within myself. I pray that as I continue this journey in therapy, that you guys can see the change in me. If you're struggling and you feel you would benefit from a therapy session, click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/Asia Walker and get 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. If any of you guys were in my live Sunday, you got a little bit of the update. I did not say everything in the video because sometimes it's going to take time for me to get to certain places and to get to a point where I can talk about these things, because sometimes it's a lot. I don't want to get into the relationship part of it right now, but I just really want to talk about the reason why I decided to start therapy and why I feel so many people can benefit from therapy. We talked about this a little bit in my initial video about sickness and relationships, but actively being in therapy and having a few sessions under my belt, first of all, the process of releasing it, that alone has been like a lifesaver. When I told you guys that I was getting tight in the chest and sometimes it's like it's hard for me to breathe, I have panic attacks, those things have not gone away, but they have lessened a whole lot because I was holding a lot of these things. My family is always there for me, of course, but they're not I don't want to dump all of this stuff on them. It's like, that's my family. Me taking what I'm going through and talking to a therapist is totally different than me going to my mom and telling her that today's not a good day, to the point where I'm scared. Today's not, and not suicidal scared, but scared that one of these moments where I can't breathe or my chest is tight, like something may happen, kind of scared. Nobody wants to hear that from their kid. Like, yeah, oh, they'll do everything's gonna be okay. She'll pray for me, like, which I need. Like, everybody needs prayer, but she still has to walk away with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my mom. It's different than me going to a therapist, and especially the right therapist, and me dumping all of this on her, and she has the tools not only to be able to turn my thought process around, but she knows that this is her job and she doesn't take this with her. She doesn't carry this with her. At least I would hope that they don't. Because I know, being, just human, sometimes things affect you. Like, I remember hearing doctors say, if they lost a patient or something, or they seen a kid going through something and suffering, like, it affects them. So it affects you, but not in a way it would affect your family member, like your loved one. My decision to start therapy, like, I'm gonna be honest, was out of desperation. It's not that I'm opposed to therapy. I advocate for therapy 110%. But it was, other than the therapist sitting there, with their ink pen and, listening to what you're saying, how would that help me? They'll give you a couple buzz points and they'll give you their trained answers. What would I get out of this once I leave this therapy session? Or is it just some place for me to dump what I'm feeling? Meanwhile, nothing has changed. I needed to go to therapy. And of course, you do your research and try to figure out what's best. And of course, online is always going to be best, because I get to do it in the comfort of my space. I can't even say my own home, but my space. And I get to talk to somebody who doesn't know me. I get to talk to somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight. So their sole job is to try to help me. They don't know the other person involved. My family has feelings attached to both. Of course, the feelings are stronger on my side, but it's still a feeling attached to both. They don't know me. They don't know my situation. They don't know anything. Their sole job is to pull me out of the space that I'm in. What I love about this particular therapist, and I'm telling you, like, I literally hit the jackpot on my first try, because I was able to, it felt like basically handpick my therapist. And not that color matters, but sometimes color matters. Our experience sometimes as Black women, our experience is going to be different than others sometimes. You want someone that's impartial. You want someone that, I'm trying to think of the words to say, like, because it's in my head, but I want it to come out so you guys know exactly how I'm feeling. Sometimes you just need somebody that just gets it, if that makes any sense. I want the background, the piece of paper, the schooling, the education. I want all of that. But I also want someone who may have not been through what I've been through, but we see each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, she gave me excellent homework. They also check on me throughout the week, which I also thought was, like, I'm not trying to get emotional. Like, my videos is getting on my nerves. She also checks on me throughout the week. It's not just, I see you when this, when I'm getting paid. We chit chat back and forth. How you doing? You got any questions? How's everything going? Just anytime, shoot me a message. Like, I needed that. especially in that moment when I decided to start therapy. Another reason why I decided to start therapy was because not only was my personal life extremely overwhelming, I told you guys before, as far as my everyday, how I move has changed and it started to affect me. So I was doing a little research about chemo brain, and the medical term for it is cognitive impairment. That threw me for a loop because, you know, as we all get older, things start to change. You don't remember things the same. You're not as quick on your feet as you used to be. Like, these things are normal, but this is not that. This is you coming from being able to read a page in 5 seconds and grabbing everything that you're reading, comprehending everything that you're reading, to the first 2 sentences you got to read 17 times. Because you're like, what? The words look backwards. It looks like I speak English and everything is written in Chinese. It's not even words, it's written in symbols. So all of that was overwhelming for me. Like, I felt like not only was everything around me crumbling, I felt like I didn't even know who I was. My whole life is turned upside down, and then on top of it, I'm losing myself. So if I don't even have me to count on, what do I have? And if you guys remember in my live, I was talking about, like, I felt like maybe God was like literally breaking me down to nothing because I was either not paying attention, or this is the place where I was supposed to be in order to get to whatever the next step or the next level is. Because that's what I was really feeling like. I was losing everything, including myself. Like, if I can't even count on me, because if a lot of times when you're going through things, you can handle them because you know if you can't count on nobody else, you got yourself. I couldn't even count on that because I felt like I didn't even know who I was. Doing goofy stuff, like scrambling everywhere and just not being present. It felt like, it's like, you know, them cartoons or them movies where you like in the Wild Wild West and it'd be like, ooh, and it'd be them little tumbleweeds going. That's how my mind be feeling sometimes. Like, it's nothing up there but tumbleweeds. Like, is everything okay? I just felt off, and it's so scary not to know, like, what's going on with your brain, and even worse, not being able to control it. Like, that alone is like, I don't even know what to do with it, because I feel myself changing, but it's nothing that I can do about it. Honestly, I didn't even know it was chemo brain until my mom told me. Apparently, like right after I was finished chemo and all of that, I had changed then. I didn't know that because, you know, you're fresh off of everything that's going on. I'm just happy to be alive. So I don't know or wasn't aware of the changes that was going on at that time. But my mom brought it to my attention that, you know, your attitude has changed, the way you react to things has changed, just so much has changed about me that I wasn't aware of. Now, slowly that I am getting back into the world and doing other things other than sitting in the house, now I'm aware of, like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on with you? Like, why? I'm picking up something that's so simple to read and I'm not picking it up. So now I'm Googling more, like, what's this mean? Any other time, I know exactly what that means. Certain words I can't pronounce when old Asia just sounded out in your head and I get it in half a second. Now it's like I gotta go on Google, how do you say whatever this word is? Honestly, I'm surprised I was even able to tell you guys I had cognitive impairment. I was calling it cognitive dissonance and like everything but what it was, because my brain couldn't commute or couldn't hold on to what the word was. As you can imagine, all of this is just so overwhelming. Then I have the blessing of YouTube. So this is an outlet for me. This is something that I can go on here. I can do my little makeup and, you know, I can talk to you guys and have fun and show my clothes and just chit chat. Of course, I'm in my head and I don't feel like I'm growing. I don't feel like, you know, maybe my personality, maybe nobody likes me. Like, I see other people, which is not a good way to be, but this was my thought process at the time. I see other people's content that I can literally like fall asleep and they are doing amazing, you know, the engagement in the comments. And I'm like, oh, what's wrong with my stuff? So then that instantly started to discourage me, because I am definitely one of those people that I don't like failing at things. I will stop. Like, this whole thing will be shut down if I feel like I'm failing or making a fool out of myself. I stopped. So I was going for a while and, you know, I'm dealing with everything. I was recording some of it, but, you know, not recording in my mind to come back to YouTube, just so I can document like this time in my life, because this is crazy and I never thought I would be here. Like, getting all my teeth out, like I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. One of my friends was telling me that, you know, you need to go back to YouTube and you were already in the algorithm and all of that. But in my mind, it didn't compute, because that's not what I was seeing as far as my growth on my channel or the, you know, the views on my videos, everything that I shouldn't have been looking at, because that's not even why I started the YouTube. I started the YouTube because I was sickly in the house by myself. I was talking to myself anyway, so why not turn the camera on and talk to y'all? But not like a crazy talk to myself. Just like, you know, something go on in your day and you discussing it, but you're thinking out loud. That kind of talk. So my sister was really the one, my mom too, but my sister was really the one. Like, she was on my top about going back to YouTube. Like, when I look at your videos, I see your growth. I see how much you've changed. Like, I think that's what you should be doing. That is it for you. I came back to YouTube and I did the video talking about why I was going. Not one time in my head did I say, I'm gonna take my teeth out. That's one of the things that so organically happened. I wasn't afraid in that moment. Again, old me would have never, absolutely not. But in that moment, I was like, if you're going to be on YouTube, you have to be yourself. You have to be honest. I'm going to be on here and you can't eat with your glue in your mouth. You're not going to always be able to hide your mouth. You could be drinking something. You could forget. You could be filming later on that day. Meanwhile, you done had the glue in your mouth all day, and it could, you know, I could be talking, and it has happened on this video. I probably cut it out, but I'm sure you guys have seen it. I'm talking and my teeth drop, or they shift and adjust, and then I have to say the word over again. Like, this can come out some type of way. Not saying you can't do YouTube unless you're telling all your business, but I'm the type of person, and my sister always tells me this, I overshare. Like, I get a friend, child, I'm giving you my birth certificate. You done seen my birthing video. I done showed you the pic of my mom's vagina when I was coming out. Like, that's just who I am. I don't want to be hiding and all. Like, I don't move like that. When I have somebody in my life, like, I trust you to my detriment, but it's who I am. I said, if I come back to YouTube, I have to be honest. But then on the flip side, I said, I don't want my channel to be all about sick and all of that. So I was incorporating still my makeup and my fashion. Those videos don't do as well. They do fine for me. I'm past that now. When I sit down and I turn this phone on, I'm not reading a script. I'm talking to you guys from right here. Sometimes I may repeat myself. I don't know that I'm repeating myself. Sometimes I'll be done a video and edit it and put it up and I'm like, oh my God, like, why didn't you tell them this? Or, you know, I could have, I left this out. So I don't care about that kind of stuff no more. I care about who's in them comments telling me that I made their day. I care about the people in the comments who said, I didn't know that somebody else was going through this. Like, I am too. Like, I understand exactly what you're going through. Like, that affects me more than me worrying about how many people see my video. Because obviously the right people are seeing it. I decided to show what was going on because I don't want to be hiding. This is my reality right now. Especially if I'm doing get ready with me's, I'm not getting up with teeth in my mouth. Honestly, 90% of my day, I don't have these teeth in. Why not just be you have to be yourself. So that's what I did. Those videos do so well, but then that started to weigh on me a little bit because I'm like, okay, my videos that make me happy, my makeup and clothes and things like that, it's like nobody wants to see those. So do they only want to see when I'm suffering or when I'm talking about sickness and things like that? Like, I want people to see, yes, Asia's been through this and she came out of it, but I want them to also see the joy that I have and that I'm trying to get back to. I don't always have joy because right now it's crazy. But I want them to see the fighter, as exhausted mentally, emotionally, physically that I am. I want them to see the fighter. I want them to see that I believe that God is going to pull me out of this, that all of this is for a reason. Because despite, on one hand, me feeling like my entire world is upside down, I still have blessings. I have multiple roofs over my head. I have a family that's behind me 110%. I'm sometimes a person that doesn't look at the glass half full. And that's something that also in therapy that I'm working on. I need to start looking at what I have versus what I don't. I've even enrolled in classes online. I'm taking classes at Yale. I'm starting small. One of them I think is like 7 weeks or something, and the other one is like 6 weeks. So I'm gonna get through those and see where I'm at. I don't want to just sit and just dwell in the fact that I feel different. This doesn't always have to be. You know, God helps those that help themselves. So I'm going to do the work to get back to where I was. And I am really big on education, especially for Black women. I love me a well-educated Black woman. And this has also pushed me to further my education. It's always something that I wanted to do. That's what pushed me to get my high school diploma, because I was trying to skip over that and go to college. This has really motivated me even more, because me just trying to get out to high school, I was paying for websites and stuff, trying to get the answer, like the homework help and all of that, whatever them websites was called, because it was like, I was struggling, but I did it. So that's what I'm going to do with these courses. And when I'm finished these courses, I'm going to keep going. Therapy has been such a help for me as far as me being able to lift up some of the things that I have been holding just off of my heart and off of my chest. I literally, besides prayer, which should be the first thing, but if I can be honest, sometimes I haven't prayed as much as I should. And only because at this moment in time, I don't know what to pray for, if I'm being honest. because I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to do. I just need time. But until I get to that point, therapy has been a place where I can unload, and maybe I will, in the midst of me unloading, I can figure out what I want to do. I can come up with whatever the plan is. But I cannot recommend therapy more because the world has changed so much. And especially in the last couple of years, like everybody has been through, it seemed like hell and back, like the pandemic and the tornadoes and hurricanes and the inflation, and eggs is $20 a carton. Like it's a lot. Like people are dealing with so much. We go on social media and everybody look like they having a ball and everybody's rich and all. People, it's crazy out here. Like it really is. Everybody's not broke. Everybody's not poor. I'm not saying that at all. You know, my family's not poor. So, I mean, I understand that it's people that's still thriving and moving up in the world. But so many people are dealing with emotional and mental issues. Even just from the pandemic, people have lost family members, and like people are still dealing with the aftermath of that. And then you got, you know, people being misplaced out of their homes, floods. And I just feel like nowadays, especially if you work, jobs should have therapists. Like those type of things should be mandatory. Even if it's once every 6 months, you know, have your employees go talk to a therapist that's paid for by your job, just to check on people's mental health and things. I feel like men especially could benefit from therapy. A lot of times they don't have any place to release everything that they're feeling, everything that they go through once they leave out of their homes every day. Sometimes even inside your home is not a safe space. And then they go out in the street and have to deal with the world, and they a lot of times can't cry on to us because, you know, they don't want to look weak or less than a man, and they can't go cry on their friend's shoulder, you know. So sometimes it just feels like you don't have an outlet, you don't have an opening. And everybody needs that. Everybody needs a safe space where they can express themselves and can get out of their mind what they're feeling and what they're holding and what they're thinking. There's just so much happening. School didn't even start a good week, and we had a school, you know, like people are just, it's a lot happening. And I'm not saying that therapy is the end all be all and that's just going to solve the world's problems. But I honestly believe if sometimes we had someone that believed in us, that spoke life into us, somebody that we can release everything that we're holding, I really feel like it would change a lot of people's lives. Like I really do. I could be naive for feeling that way, but I really feel like therapy would help so many people. In my heart, I honestly believe this as somebody who has done therapy more than once. I really honestly feel like it would help so many people. Sometimes that's all you need is just somebody to talk to and release and be honest. Like sometimes when we get in front of our family or our friends, we want to make things like, you know, everything's all good, or, you know, and make it seem like it's not as bad as it really is. And then you may not have a friend that you can fully trust to be able to be vulnerable and release everything. So where do you go? You should be going to God first. But sometimes it's like having that immediate bounce off of someone, somebody being able to, right after you say something, they're able to respond and kind of ease your fear or ease whatever it is. My favorite part about therapy is I'm able to release what I'm feeling without someone telling me what I should be grateful for. And I'm not saying that in a bad or negative way. I'm just saying it like I had a conversation with my friend and she said something to me that just like it clicked in my head. It's not about being grateful for life. It's about your quality of life. And that just never left my head because, you know, people that be in car accidents and things, and they're a vegetable. They're alive, but what kind of life is that? Of course, you're grateful to be alive and survive everything that you have survived. But if you're going through life mentally disturbed, if you're going through life holding everything that happened to you, and it's so much weight on your shoulders and on your head, and it affects you mentally and physically, that's not a life. That's not a life God wants you to live. First of all, you can't serve him and you're not mentally right. You can't serve God and you're walking around with all kind of dark thoughts and things like that. Like that, you have to release those things. Even if it is just through prayer, you have to get those things off of your heart and off of your mind. So it's not about me expressing myself and saying how hard of a time I'm having and then being told what I should be grateful for and you know, I should be happy to be alive. Of course I am. But just because I'm alive doesn't mean the events of my life hasn't affected me. That's the biggest thing about therapy that I love. Like, I am able to express myself without, you know, well, you don't trust God, or you, like, that's not what it is. But God put these people here for a reason. God gave us a brain. Like, surgeons ain't surgeoning just because they just smart. Like, that's nobody but God. To open up somebody's brain and work on their brain, like, that ain't nobody but God. The fact that your brain exists, the fact that your organs and your blood and all of that, the way your body is made up, the way your organs each have a place in a job, that's nobody but God. I just hope that my perspective gives people hope and changes minds on we have other outlets other than drugs and alcohol and making broken homes and whatever it is you do to deal with the everyday life. We have other options. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for sitting with me and watching my video. It's one day at a time. Everybody's just living one day at a time. And if you're blessed to wake up every day, you got another chance to be better. I hope you are subscribed if you're not already. Please like this video. It helps me out a lot. Comment down below and turn on your bell notifications so you know when I upload. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.